Hey everybody, and welcome to another Brie Book Reviews video. So today's video is going to be part 2 of my giant ass book haul. This second part is going to be all of the manga that I've collected, because if you have been an avid follower of my channel, you know that I have a love for manga. The first thing I have here is I needed to catch up with my One Punch Man collection, which I have the first 5 books for. So I picked up 6 through 10, which is current and up to date with the releases, although I think book 11 comes out very, very soon. So we have volume 6, volume 7, volume 8, volume 9, and volume 10, story by One and art by Yusuke Murata. As you all know from my current reads video or my wrap-up video from January and February, I am currently reading this series because the books are now a lot easier to get a hold of, so I went ahead and got some more volumes, which is more Berserk. So I already had 1 through 6, so I went ahead and picked up 7 through 11. So we got 7, volume 8, volume 9, volume 10, and volume 11. And this series is by Kentaro Miura, and again, I am in the middle of reading this series. I'm on volume 2, really highly enjoying it. A seinen series about this character named Guts, and really all I know about him is that there's something to do with this scar on his neck that affects him sometimes. I'm not 100% sure. He's kind of a mystery right now. I'm only in volume 2. But demons are after him, or chasing him, or he's chasing them. I don't know, but I will find out. I will find out. And I've heard this is like the #1 seinen series ever for anybody. So I'm excited to see where the story goes. And I picked up more volumes of Monster that I was missing. I'm still behind, but I only previously had volumes 1 through 3, so I went ahead and picked up volume 4, volume 5, volume 6, and volume 7. Thriller manga, really awesome murder mystery type of book, and I am loving it, every second of it. But I have decided that until I pick up the last 2 volumes, 8 and 9, I'm not going to re-pick up the series because I want to be able to binge read it, essentially. A series of Naokis that I did completely buy the rest of, that I am in the middle of reading right now because I have the full collection of it, is I picked up the rest of the Pluto volumes. So I got volume 4, volume 5, volume 6, volume 7, and volume 8, which is a completed series. This is Naoki's take on Osamu Tezuka's Astro Boy. Now, I never did read Astro Boy, but I am 3 volumes into this series, and already this is a very deep manga series. There's this whole thing going on between the humans and the AI, and like whether or not the AI should have human rights, and I am really enjoying this series so far. Highly recommend reading this series, and I plan on doing a full review of this when I'm done. This next one is a recent release, and I didn't even know it was going to be a release until it was already released, and I immediately went on Amazon and purchased it. I was obsessed with the anime for this particular manga last year, and I even did like a full like anime gush, and this was part of that video. And that is volume 1 of Erased by Kei Sanbe, and this cover for one is beautiful. If you want to see my anime gush about this along with some other series, I will leave the link for that video down below. But this series is a psychological thriller. I highly recommend the anime. I cannot wait to dive into the manga. I'm sure it's going to be just as good, probably even more fantastic than the anime was. But if you like psychological thrillers, this is definitely top of the list. And the anime is only like 13 episodes long, so it's not that big of a thing to get into. But if you want to read it instead, I would highly recommend picking up this manga. This next one, I'm not 100% sure I showed you guys already. I may have, because I purchased this a really, really long time ago. But I'm going to put it on here anyways. And that is A Girl on the Shore by Inio Asano. This is a standalone contemporary romance? I've already read this a long time ago. Manga's really like the only format I can read contemporary. I can't remember what I rated it. I'll have to look it up later. But I did enjoy it, and it's pretty short. This next one is the most recent manga that I picked up, and the most recent one that I've read already, and that is Smoke and Parade by Jinsei Katoka and Kazuma Kondo. This is volume 1 of their newest series. If you didn't previously know, they are the creators of another series called Dead Man Wonderland, which like a year or two ago I started reading, and I've even mentioned in a few of my past videos. For some reason I never finished it, even though it's a pretty short series. It's only like 13 volumes long, but don't know why I decided to go ahead and start their newer series. This is very odd. I really enjoyed it though, but it's definitely odd. But you know, if you've read Dead Man Wonderland, that one's a little odd too, so kind of goes hand in hand with the creators. There's a lot of like gruesome gore in here. This next one I only have the first 4 volumes for, but I have actually completely read the entire series on Crunchyroll because I just couldn't not read it online. I was obsessed with this story. It is my favorite contemporary romance now, and that is, I got the first 4 volumes of A Silent Voice by Yoshitoki Oima. So I have volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, and volume 4. These 2 characters meet in elementary school. This young girl is deaf, and the boy takes it upon himself to bully her. He makes it so she leaves the school. He like gets her to leave, and then he gets shunned because the other kids are like, that was incredibly horrible. So he ends up with no friends, and he feels super bad about it, and kind of has a change of heart and realizes what he did was absolutely wrong. And to make up for it, he learns sign language and vows to like find her. They do meet later on. This is them a little bit older. It's basically his atonement towards her for basically torturing her as a young girl. Cannot believe how beautiful this story is, and it is, I want to say it's only like 8 or 9 volumes long. We're getting towards the end here, guys. Do not worry. So I ranted about this series. I talked about it in the same video that I talked about Erased with, and I've been collecting the manga series for this because it is pretty much top notch, top of my list, top manga of all time, top manga, top anime. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I have 6 volumes here. I have the entire completed Phantom Blood arc by Hirohiko Araki. So we have volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3. And then I have one more volume to get in the next arc, and that is the Battle Tendency arc. So I have volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3 is my newest addition to this, and there's 4 volumes in the Battle Tendency arc, and then that arc will be completed. And then I will be able to collect my favorite arc, which is the 3rd arc, and there are 2 volumes for that out right now, but I think volume 3 is coming out soon, and I will be collecting that. And the very last thing in this haul is the largest thing, and I just received it in the mail yesterday, and I'm so excited about it. Yay! And that is the 3rd One Piece box set. This has volumes 47 through 70 in it. Let me try to lift this sucker up. Beautiful. So this has the remaining 3 volumes in the Thriller Bark arc. I'm not saying that. And then it has all the way through the New World arc. I will be reading these because I actually haven't read the volumes. I've only watched the anime of these particular volumes here, so I'm excited. And maybe even putting up arc discussions, because I have put up arc discussions for the first few arcs, and I will leave those discussions linked down below. If you want to check them out, please do. As always, if you have any comments or questions, also leave them down below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!